Boys, today we are going to be doing a different style of video. We're going to be going over every position's best value at a high budget, medium budget, and a low budget. There hasn't been any great cards offensively that have came out over the last couple days, so I figured we might as well sit down. You guys have been asking for a video like this to just talk about who I think are the best value cards in the game. The first positions we're going to go over is going to be the O-line. Really, at the end of the day, you're just looking for the highest overall you can get for the amount of coins you have. So if you have like 150, 200k, you're able to afford the best guys like Fairchild. Don't buy Jalen Slappy. That's not going to make you win games, all right? Like Joshua Gray for 89k. He's been my left guard for forever. You guys probably notice in the videos, my O-line does not change much because I only upgrade through B&D cards. I don't buy linemen because at the end of the day, if the game wants you to get shedded, you're going to get shedded. There's like 20 different centers in the game. Jake Slaughter is probably the best value center. He's 40k, but there's plenty of linemen everywhere. I would not spend a lot of coins on O-line, but it definitely kind of matters. All right, so the first true position that we are going to be going over is tight end. If you have every coin in the world and you just want the best tight end in the game, in my opinion, it's probably got to be this Tyler Warren. He's about as good as you can get. Only silver abilities, unfortunately, but he does have 95 speed, which is the fastest tight end in the game. I'm pretty sure. I think Evan Ingram has 94, which would be the second closest, which I would say, if you have a medium budget, like 100 to 200k, Evan Ingram is your guy, 100%. 94 speed, great route running. He gets the same abilities as Warren, I believe. And then the ultra budget option coming in around like 40 to 50k, it's going to be the 6'7" Ball State tight end, Tanner Koziol. I don't even know how you say his last name, but 93 speed, 6'7". He's like 40k. You really can't beat it. I don't use abilities on my tight ends like that, but he gets Silver Cutter. He gets Workhorse, I'm pretty sure. Like, just a very, very good option, and he's really, really cheap. So the thing with running back, if you're a runner, you probably want a high level of shifty, and as of right now, I'm pretty sure the only running back in the game that gets shifty gold is Reggie Bush. He's about 250k. That's still a lot of coins, but the thing is, he quick sells for 175, so you really can only lose 75k. But I'm pretty sure Reggie's the only player in the game with gold shifty, so if you're a runner and you want gold shifty, Reggie's probably your guy, but he is only 95 speed. Now, if you're a passer like me and you only want Workhorse, or you don't even use abilities on your running back in general, you're probably going to want a Sean Alexander or a Genty. Me personally, I like having Workhorse if I only have one back, but if I have multiple backs, I just want the fastest guy I can get for the cheapest price. So in my eyes, I would probably, if I were to spend all the coins I had on a running back, it would probably be Sean Alexander. He's 97 speed, 97 excel, great at everything, can catch the ball, can run the ball, can juke and spin. He can do everything. 97 change of direction. This would probably be the best running back in the game for a passer. Now, back to a lower budget, but still shifty. He's one speed slower than Reggie Bush, but he does have silver shifty. It's Alfred Morris. He's like half the price of Reggie Bush. Obviously, he's not better than Reggie Bush. He can't like juke or spin or anything, but if you want that gold shifty, but you don't have the coins to buy Reggie Bush, Alfred Morris is probably your guy. Now for budget under 50k or around 50k, for the low tier, that's what I'm going to be looking at, like under 50k to buy for a player. I think it's probably Caleb Johnson, or really any of the running backs. There's plenty of them that are 94 speed. 94 speed is probably the best you can get for this cost. A lot of them get Workhorse. Just figure out the running back you want within this price range. There's plenty of running backs. We can go over them. Samson's there. If you do have 60k, Samson is very much worth it. But the problem with Samson, he doesn't get Workhorse. Usually if you're spending a low amount of coins, that means you don't have depth on your roster. So I would try to go for somebody that does get Workhorse, but Samson is very good. Now at wide receiver, the wide receiver one for me by far is John Ross. He's 1.4 mil right now. If you want the best receiver in the game, this is who you buy. Gold takeoff, 97 speed. He gets every scheme chem. He gets every like theme team, obviously. Great route running across the board. Can spin and juke. If you want the best receiver, you gotta buy John Ross. Now, in my opinion, the second best receiver in the game, I know it's crazy because he's only 96 speed compared to the fastest, which is 97 right now, but I think it is Corey Coleman. He's coming in around 300 to 400k. I wouldn't say that's necessarily mid-tier. That's still probably high-end, but he's the only other receiver in the game with gold takeoff. So him and John Ross, I think, are wide receiver one, wide receiver two. If you don't have 1.2 mil, but you want like a slightly worse version of John Ross, Corey Coleman is your guy. Other people in the medium tier, I would probably say Braxton Miller. He's coming in at 96 speed. He's around 200K. Very, very solid. I used this card in a video a couple weeks back. Good juke and spin. He can do just about anything you want him to do. But if you have around 150 to 200K, Braxton Miller is definitely probably your best bet. Because every other 96 speed wide receiver is like, I mean, you have Ocho Cinco, who's also around 300K. Outside of these two, Ocho Cinco, honestly, bro, he's very similar to Braxton Miller. Like, pretty much the same card. Not that much different. Now, me personally, I would try to stay away from like the Ryan Williams and the Andre Johnsons and the Garrett Wilsons of the world. They're 97 speed, but I think they are wildly, and I mean wildly overpriced. If you want the best value 97 speed wide receiver, it's probably going to be Chris Olave. He's coming in at about 500K, which it's still a lot, but he's 97 speed, silver takeoff. If you want 97 speed and you only can get silver takeoff, Chris Olave is your guy, but I would still take Coleman over Olave, even though the one speed different. Now, if we're talking around 100K, you got 100,000 coins to your name and you need a wide receiver. Some of these guys are crazy. Jalen Waddle, 95 speed, good route running, can juke and spin. Traber Pena, good route running, can juke and spin. Paris Campbell is very, very good. He's 95 speed, 6'4". He's around 100K. Cannot spin or juke, but don't care too much for the spin and juke. So around the 100K range, there is legitimately so many wide receivers. Like even this Keelan Marion, like all of these stars of the seasons, dudes are crazy. Like he's under 50K. All of these receivers you need to try to get if you're on a super budget. Any of these four, really five, like Nash isn't as good. He's only 94 speed, but he has the height, so that helps him. But like legitimately, T-Mac, Tez Johnson, Keelan Marion, like if you have under 50K, those are the three players you need your wide receivers to be. They're all 95 speed. Now, in my opinion, of the quarterbacks that have released, the best quarterbacks that I have used are Patrick Mahomes and Cam Ward. Those are my two personal favorites. I have not used Daniel Jones. I have heard he is phenomenal, so I cannot speak on him myself. But me personally, I would avoid Drew Aller. I would avoid Morton. I would avoid Josh Allen. Honestly, I wouldn't buy any of these quarterbacks that are 800K. The most I would spend on a quarterback for me to feel worth it is Cam Ward, which, how much is Cam Ward right now? He's probably like 500K for Cam Ward. So not too bad. But the thing is, if we compare these cards statistically to players like, let's say Dylan Raiola, who I think is phenomenal for 200K, what else could you ask for from a quarterback? That's my thing, right? Like this card gets the same gold abilities Mahomes gets, except he doesn't get workhorse, which like if workhorse is a necessity for you, obviously get a quarterback with workhorse. Like if that matters for you, then do that. But like played better than Raiola, but I'm not spending 600K extra on Mahomes than Raiola just for workhorse. Like, does that make sense? Like, but top tier quarterbacks, I'm gonna be honest, any of these dudes on this screen are good. Even Tua is solid, but like even Luck is 300K. Like any of these quarterbacks play very similarly in this game. None of the abilities really change much. Now, if you want gold dot, I think only Mahomes gets gold dot. Mahomes and Jones. That's only if you use placement though. So now if we're talking ultra budget, like free, you have trophies you got to spend, Garrett's not bad. If we're talking like the 100 to 200K range, Jaden Daniels for sure. Jaden Daniels is very, very good. Hines Ward is also a good buy because Hines Ward is an LTD. So he cannot go cheaper than 175K. Now, if we're talking 100K-ish is what you have, McLeod, in my opinion, is probably going to be your guy. He's pretty much 100K Jaden Daniels. If you compare them side by side, Jordan McLeod, his release is good. Anyone that used him at the start of the year knows how good this card is. Last but not least, if you have less than 50K and you are in dire need of a quarterback, Brendan Lewis is your guy. He has a solid release. I used this dude for like a week, so he's really good. Decent accuracies. I think he gets workhorse, not 100% sure. 90 speed, 92 throw power. For this price, this is probably the best you can get. Shador is another quarterback that I think is really, really good. He's like 80 to 100K. He fluctuates a lot, but if you have less than 100K, I personally, in my opinion, I think this is the best guy you can get. 92 speed, great throw power, good accuracies, high carrying. What else more can you ask for? He also gets gold extender and magician. That's what it is. Okay, so defensive line is a little weird. If you use gold quick jump, right? If you use gold quick jump, the guys you're going to want are DeMarcus Lawrence, Greg Rousseau, or Trayvon Walker. Those are the 3 cards that get gold quick jump at left end. If you do want gold quick jump at right end, I'm pretty sure the only one I think is Julius Peppers, I believe. And then I think we have outside linebackers that also get it. So if I'm counting this as like just edge rushers in general. So like you want gold quick jump, you got Tyree Wilson, you got Tavai, Dre Greenlaw. If you want gold quick jump, those are the guys you're going to want. The cheapest ones, the cheapest gold quick jump, I'm like 99% sure is this Trayvon Walker right here, who is $60K. Obviously not under 50. If you do have this price range, definitely go for Trayvon. Anything under 50K, I mean, the best under 50K is probably this Scorton right here. Unfortunately, no gold quick jump, but I personally don't use quick jumps on my defense. I just don't play a style of defense that requires them. So if you don't run quick jumps, this is your guy. This is who you want to buy. I don't think it's worth spending on a defensive lineman that crazy because there's a high chance they're going to get banged up anyways. And then at right end, also, if you have under 50K, another person, Donovan, not even going to try to say his last name. This dude's probably better than Scorton, 93 speed. You can't really beat that on the D line right now. There's maybe a couple that are 94 or 95 speed, but if you don't use gold quick jump, why do you even need an expensive player? Just use this guy. All right, down to D tackle. We're saying the best is probably Jerzon, or I don't even know how to say his first name, Newton. He gets gold quick jump, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, gold quick jump, 90 speed at D tackle. Can't really beat that. If you have around 150 to 200K, Newton is your guy, but obviously there's people like Mason Graham, there's Jalen Carter, there's a lot of really solid D tackles. Bryce Ganius, however you say it, bro, this dude he's 80K right now, but if you buy him on a Tuesday with Game Changers drop, he's going to be like 50K. This card might be the best value card in the entire game. 92 speed, over 90 in every pass rush stat. He has, for some reason, 95 change of direction. This dude is phenomenal. For a 94 overall, I'm pretty sure he's the fastest D tackle in the game, and he's a 94 overall. Doesn't get gold quick jump, but like I said, I don't think that matters. 95 block shed, 90 power move, 95 finesse, 92 speed, 300 pounds at D tackle. This is the guy you want if you're not spending on Newton. Now, if you're looking for the best of the best user, whatever, if you're using them in the middle of the field, user, middle linebacker, whatever you want to call it, 95 speed, 6'3" LT. If you are off ball and you use someone else, he has 92 zone. He also has good man coverage. Unfortunately, LT doesn't have pass rush, but it doesn't really matter. He's a middle linebacker anyways. This card is phenomenal. I think he costs around like 700 to 800K. I mean, 650 is not bad. 650 for the best linebacker in the game. Now, if you got about 100K, Carson is going to be your guy. 6'2", 94 speed. He's really not that far off from LT, and he's only 100K. You lose one speed, you lose one height, and then some other like in between stats like play rec and block shed, but I don't think all that stuff matters that much once you get past 90. But 95 zone, 94 speed, 6'2". How can you really beat that? It costs about 100. What does it say? It costs 110K. You got 110K, that's the guy you want at linebacker. Now, if we're talking about a player that can do it on both like types of defense, if he's pass rushing or if he's playing zone, Anthony Hill is phenomenal. He has crazy pass rush, 95 block shed, 91 power move, 92 finesse, 94 speed, 6'3", but he also has 94 zone. If you run a defense like I do with an outside linebacker that's blitzing or in coverage a lot, Anthony Hill might be who you want. Very good. He's 150K. He's slightly more than Carson, but he can do a little bit more. Here's a player for the around 50K budget. Nnamdi Obiezor, 93 speed, 6'3". Decent pass rush, not the greatest. 92 change of direction. 85 zone, which can play. It's good enough to play in coverage if you have to. Under 50K, you're not going to get the most like full linebackers, I guess we'll say. Like, they're not going to be good at everything for under 50K, but Nnamdi's a very solid option. Another player for around the 50 to 60K range is Micah Parsons. Great pass rush, 93 speed, 6'3", 90 change of direction. I still use him on my team. And then he also has 85 zone, just like Obiezor does. Another one in the 50K range is Jordan Pollard, 93 speed, 92 excel, 91 zone. I think he just came out yesterday, so he's very, very solid. He's got 92 change of direction. He has decent pass rush. Not that he probably will be pass rushing that much, but very solid option. And then if we're talking like super budget, around 40K, 6'3", 92 speed, Good pass rush, Kyle Van Noy. You guys know I've used him on my team for a very long time. He's still on my team right now. I still use him at this very moment. 87 zone, 86 man. Good change of direction. Very tall, very good at literally everything. And he's one of the cheaper cards you can buy for this price. He is still, I would probably say, if you count in his value, he is still an S tier card. Okay, so switching over to free safety. The best free safety in the game is Caleb Downs. We used him a couple weeks ago. 98 speed. Phenomenal man in zone. You cannot really get much better than this until we get a safety that gets gold ball hawk, which we don't have yet. But there's a couple other players that are on a very similar level to Caleb Downs. One of them being this Ed Reed, which just came out yesterday. Silver ball hawk, 97 speed, 98 zone, 92 man. Not as crazy as Caleb Downs, but definitely on that same level. And he is slightly cheaper at the moment. I think he's like 400k. Let's see what he's sitting at. Caleb Downs is around 500 and Ed Reed is sitting at 400. So you could save yourself 150k. And then another player that I think is very much S tier. If you did house rules and you either pulled the 97 or you got the 96, I use the 96 version on my team. You guys have seen him before, but this 97 version of Casey Larkin, if you have him, he should be playing for you. Now, house rules goes away in a couple days. If you haven't done them yet, be sure to get them done because you have a chance to get this card for free, which you could sell off your Ed Reed or your Caleb Downs if they're auctionable and make yourself 500k for a very similar card. Silver ball hawk. Some say he's the best sub linebacker in the game. He has insane block shed for a safety. Good man and zone. He's 6 foot, so that's not crazy, but 97 speed for free. You can't really beat that. Now, if you want a card that is very, very low risk to lose coins on, Jalen Catalon, 96 speed, good man, good zone, silver ball hawk, and he's an LTD. So the cheapest he can go is 175. If you pay 200, you're basically buying him for 25k if you have the coins. You're basically paying 25k for whenever you get rid of him. But I think if you buy him, he could be on your team for a very long time. Really, any card that's 96 speed or faster for around 200k is good, but like this haha Clinton Dix came out yesterday, right? He's also 96 speed. He probably looks better, but he could be 100k in 2 days. Catalan, however, cannot because he's an LTD. Now, if you have under 50k, Xavier Watts is probably your guy. 6 foot, 94 speed, 95 excel, 92 zone, 93 man. He can do just about everything. If you wanted to, by the way, some of these safeties could play sub linebacker for you if you do run a formation that you use them in. But, I mean, Xavier Watts under 50k, you can't really beat it. It's hard to get players under 50k that are over 95 speed. So 94 is about the best you can get. Anyone that's 94 speed that has good man in zone is a capable safety. Now, in my opinion, strong safety 1 is Malachi Starks. He sells for around 200k. 96 speed. We do have other 96 speed safeties, but I think Malachi is just... Every card I've used of his this year has been phenomenal. 96 speed, 96 zone, 94 man. He can play corner. I'm pretty sure he has a really high press. 92. So for a safety, that's really good. He has high tackling, if you believe that tackling is a very important stat. 99 jumping. Just all around a phenomenal card for 200k. Now, other good options at strong safety. Pig Cage. He's pretty much min price. He's an LTD. You guys know about Pig Cage if you watch this channel. Pig Cage is my GOAT, bro. I've had him on my team since the day he came out. He's one of the best value cards in the game. You can buy him for practically 20k. He sells for like 220 on the auction house. His quick sell is 175. Like I said, he's an LTD. You could buy him for 14k right now, technically. And he's 95 speed. That's not the greatest in the game right now. I'll be honest. It's not the craziest, but he can still play. You also have obviously Gerard Holloman and Brian Branch, who are also 96 speed. Brian Branch, if you only have 150k and you can't afford Malachi, is probably your best bet. Now for 50k, I think the best card that you're probably going to get is Dalen Carnell. This dude's really good. 94 speed, 6'2", good man and zone. This is a great box linebacker. If you need a cheap safety or even a cheap linebacker, Carnell's your dude. I think Carnell's phenomenal. Honestly, I could swap Carnell with Pig Cage and probably have the same amount of success, but I already have Pig Cage B&D. Utilize your B&D cards that are solid cards. You don't need to upgrade a solid card to the best card if you have a B&D version. And last but not least, we have the cornerbacks. In my opinion, there's only a couple S-tier cornerbacks that have everything you want. CB1, however, if you have every coin in the world, and you want to spend it on one player at corner, I personally think it should be between Snead and the next person we're talking about. Snead is 97 speed, good man in zone, high press, 6'1". But the key here, gold ball hawk is a problem. You guys know I've been using Rod Woodson for a very, very long time. If you have gold ball hawk, you are S tier. I don't care how fast you are. If you're a corner, if you have silver ball hawk, you are not S tier. Now, the other corners with gold ball hawk are going to be Rod Woodson. I have Rod Woodson. I use Rod Woodson. He has been on my team since the day I bought him. He is like pig cage to me. 95 speed. His zone's not great, but I'm going to be honest, gold ball hawk, it does not matter. If you have gold ball hawk, your zone coverage stat goes out the window. Your player is jumping everything. So Rod Woodson, he's another one of those players at the LTD. You can buy him and quick sell him whenever you want, and the most you will lose is 20K. Now, the other two corners I was talking about that do get gold ball hawk, the best value cornerback in the entire game, if you want a mixture of price and performance, it's going to be Devin McCourty. He's coming in at under 150K. He gets gold ball hawk. Unfortunately, he's only 5'10", but 90 man, 96 zone, high press. Very, very good card. 94 change of direction. For 150K, you cannot get a card better than this. This card is phenomenal. And then last but not least, there's only 4 corners with gold ball hawk at the very moment of recording. 6'4", 96 speed. He's 1 speed slower than Snead, but he has 3 inches of extra height. Depending on how much you care about height, Woolen might be CB1 to you. I'm not 100% sure. I have not used Snead or Woolen, but I know how good gold ball hawk is. There's no way they're bad. Now, let's go a tier below. 2 cards that are silver ball hawk, but still very, very good, right? You have plenty of players. Pons, you guys know I use Pons for 150K. He's very solid. He's a little bit short, but pig cage is short too. It's about the size of the heart, bro. It's not about how tall they are. Travis Hunter, he's 97 speed, silver ball hawk. I'm going to be honest. This is the most overrated card I've ever used. I have Travis Hunter on my other account that I do play on. BND. Not only does he look like a linebacker, he plays like a linebacker. I don't know why. I just don't think he's that good. Some other very, very solid, like, not cheap options, but like people like Alpha Khan, for example. He's almost min price and he's 95 speed. I think Ramsey's also min speed. Now, I will say, under 100K, you need a fast corner. This is who you buy. Pat Pete, he's going to be like 60K tomorrow. 96 speed, high zone, high man. What else do you want? I understand his change of direction is low. So what? If you run zone, change of direction doesn't matter. I'm going to be honest with you. It just doesn't. Around 150, 200K, there is so many corners. I've heard Corey Black is also very good. For 160K, you can't really beat that. That's 96 speed right there. You're looking for 96 speed. If you're spending around 150K or 100K and you're not getting gold ball hawk, you're looking for 96 speed or you're probably getting scammed. But if you're under 100K, another thing, if you have this upgrade token, these are 2 of the best cards in the game. Denzel Burke with the upgrade token goes up to 96 speed, which is really, really solid. Another one is Davison. He goes up to 97 speed with the token. He's probably the best price corner you can buy, but you need the token in order for him to be. 95 speed isn't the craziest right now. If you're buying a 95 speed player, in my opinion, you should either be spending 50K or buying an LTD. That's my opinion. I don't think you should spend 100K on a card that's 95 speed when you can buy a player that's faster or buy a player that's just as good for way cheaper, if that makes sense. He's 95 speed like I was just talking about, but he's in the same ballpark as Burke. But Davison and Burke can get upgraded with the token if you earned it before the season reset. Under 50K, your guys' best bet is probably going to be Will Johnson, Noel Williams, and Mello Dotson, most likely. When you buy cards that are low overalls, you probably want to buy the newer cards, not like older cards, if that makes sense. So like Noel Williams and Will Johnson, they're relatively new cards, so their stats are going to be higher. All right, so if you want the best kicker in the game, it's Alex Raynor. He's like 250K. He has 99 kick power. He has platinum abilities and gold abilities. You're not going to get a kicker better than this. If you buy this, he'll probably be on your team for the rest of the year. Mid-tier, around 50K. I mean, really, if you're spending under 50K, the kicker you want is Alan Menderes. Plays for the Raging Cajuns. 94 kick power, I'm pretty sure is the highest. Or no, it's the second highest. I think Dalmas has 95, but his kick accuracy is really low, and kick accuracy actually matters. It makes kicks easier. It makes them go further if you're slightly off. So you want to have kick accuracy. I think Kenneth is very good. That's going to wrap things up for the cards that I think are the best at each value, high, medium, and low value for every single position or position group in the game. If I missed a card that you think deserve to be spoken about, obviously I can't talk about every single card. There's thousands of them in the game. So any cards that you feel I missed, be sure to let me know or help other people out in the comments that you think are very good cards. Now, I will say this as a disclaimer. Rush starts in 2 days. There's a very, very, very high chance every card I talked about today goes down in price. So be careful with that. I'm probably going to make an updated video on this type of video next week with different prices. So if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you want more videos like this, let me know down in the comments and I will read through them and maybe we'll get more.